Oh my gosh, we are live. We are live. We are live. We are back. Welcome everybody
On
to
a
the Fat Thor
Thursday.
podcast on a Thursday. I'm Andy Gunnin,
I'm Rick Wayne.
and we are the Fat Thor podcast, also known as the Fat Thor Lockdown Challenge. It's been over almost 2 weeks since our last podcast with Bruce Kulick and Rocky Dale Davis. We did a double back to back because of schedules and 9/11 and everything, and football starting up with my son. We decided to just kind of take last week off and get ready to regroup. But going forward, we're going to be doing this live on Thursdays. The schedule will allow with our guests. If our guests can't be here, we might do an early one. But right now, we're going to do Thursdays at 6:30 going forward because my son plays varsity football and he happens just to be starting. He's a junior, so Dad's got to be at the game. So that's what we're doing.
For all that money you spent, you better be at the damn games.
Oh God, that exactly. Well, yeah. After investing almost $1,000 in this thing, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. You think I'm going to miss a game? No.
Hell no. Hell no.
High school football, and it costs $1,000 a play now. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I'm not saying I would. I mean, he's good too. He's got talent. He's been getting recruited. Well, he's been getting recruiting letters since he was in 9th grade, so I can't complain. And I want to encourage him, but that's a hard pill to swallow. Even it is. But anyways, enough about that. We've got a great guest tonight, one of our old friends and comedians. He's been on the Power 108.9 All About the Laugh show several times. We always have a great time when we're all together. But I really wanted to bring him on because he has done some great things here lately. The World Series of Comedy has just wrapped up their satellite. We'll talk a little bit more about that when Eric comes on and go into detail for those of you who don't know. But Eric competed in it this year. He started in Vegas. He did the live show in Vegas, and then COVID came in and it went all virtual. But he did place in the top 3 in Vegas. And then from there, he just kept winning satellite after satellite. And this last satellite, he got first again. So he's in it to win it. We're going to talk about that when we bring him on here. And let's just go ahead and bring on our buddy, Eric. Eric, how are you doing, buddy? Welcome to the show.
Hey, what's going on? Andy and Rick, man. Great to be
What's up, man?
This is the first time I've done a podcast where the two of you together. So I love that you guys have found each other. You're great together. You're a good couple. And I wish you nothing but love as we go forward, man.
I think I found out who it was now, Andy.
Right. The phone call.
Yes. It's Eric Dowis the whole time.
Man,
how you doing, Eric?
It's good up here in the North Georgia mountains. I hope you guys are doing good.
Oh yeah,
we are. You didn't have any of that bad storm issues. You didn't have any issues from the storm passing through last night?
No, I mean we had a little bit of rain, but wasn't nothing up here on the mountaintops. We don't get a whole lot, so.
Gotcha. Hey, folks, just a quick reminder: you can comment. We'll read your comments or questions, whatever you want to do.
Can I just tell you what I want to say, or?
Yeah, go ahead, brother. What you got?
I mean, do I have to put a comment?
No, not you. You're on the show.
Oh, okay, my bad. I thought you was giving me instructions on how this was going to work.
No.
Yeah, you got to submit your questions in first, Eric, and we'll see if they're approved, and then if they're approved, we'll answer your question.
I've ever been on. Good Lord, I got the right questions submitted.
Yeah.
So Eric, let's talk about what you've been doing. Obviously, you've been quarantined like a lot of us, but you've been doing a lot of shows here lately, or getting some shows, correct? You've been getting some live shows.
Oh man, I wouldn't say a lot of shows. I've done a handful. Everything was shut down
right
until I didn't start doing shows again. So last show I did was February 20 whatever the last day of February is.
Right.
And I went until June, and I did the next show was in June, and I've averaged like 2 or 3 shows a month, but it's been cool. And I tell you, it's not so much the clubs. I've done a couple of shows up in Greenville at Comedy Zone,
right?
And I did the place in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. and
Right.
called the box or something like that. And anyway,
Right.
that was great. But some of the best shows I've done have been kind of out in the suburbs or beyond at these breweries and stuff. I was at one out in Jefferson, Georgia, and that was killer, man. And I don't want to trigger some people who are like super freaked out about COVID, but like,
Right.
man, they had them packed in. It was like the old days, you know.
Or was it?
Oh man, it was so much fun. So yeah, I've been lucky to be on a couple of shows. I got shows coming up this weekend, but it's certainly not what we had hoped 2020,
Right.
you know, was going to be for sure.
Oh, exactly. I mean, it totally. I mean, because honestly, I think the Vegas show for World Series of Comedy was the only live one they did, if I remember right. And you did that when I came back and did a couple shows, and then everything went to turned off.
But you know, let me tell you this. I don't know how much time y'all want me to talk about stuff, but
we got as much time as you want.
No, let me tell you this story. And if there are any other comics that watch this, I really do recommend the World Series of Comedy. And I know sometimes some people think it's hokey or whatever. And all I can tell you is that if you want a direct path to getting booked by club owners, this is the best opportunity, because that's who's judging this thing. But anyway, we don't have to go down that path.
No, we do. Definitely. I mean, I'm a big fan of World Series of Comedy, and we'll talk about that. You know, keep going, and then we'll dive back into a little bit of my experience with them as well. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So, but the crazy thing was, I wasn't going to go to Vegas. I submitted and I got accepted to Vegas, which you're correct. It was the first of the live satellites, the only live satellite actually. So. So I got accepted, but one of the like early rounds, you know, like the the people that barely make it in. And I wasn't going to go, but my girlfriend, on and off girlfriend, she told me. Hey, you there?
Yeah, we're there. We're here.
Sorry, something went off here. So anyway, she talked me into going, and so I went out there, and the video that I've been using for these competitions was the very first round, which is actually the hardest. The hardest round, as far as your percentage of making it, is the first round, and so I went out there. I did that set. It was recorded, and I went on to make third place in that competition. But having that video really was the key, man, and it opened so many doors. And it's just funny that I wasn't going to go. I had no thoughts of going, but other people convinced me to go out there, and now I'm glad I did.
Yep. No, yeah, you definitely went out there and did a great job. I mean, I wish I could have gone and been there. Because
Let me ask you this, Eric.
Yeah.
Are you in a rocking chair showroom?
Well, this place right here. Oh man, I got this thing. I keep getting notifications, probably bill collectors. So this place that I live in was a place they used to do weddings and special events and things like that. And so I got this, like, I don't know, it's probably a 50 by 50 or 75 by 75 pavilion that has a big ass stacked stone rock fireplace in it. And so this is my rehearsal space. I got it set up, man. I got a microphone and sound system and the whole thing. And so, because we can't get stage time, so I come out here, and this is where I do my thing.
I'm afraid we're going to check back with you in the wintertime, and you're going to be like Jack Torrance in The Shining. You know, you're just going to be all snowed in up there performing in front of an audience. And
right.
No, I got a dog that'll come out and sit listens to me. And but it's crazy, you know. I mean, it's a cool setting because it's quiet, and I can put on the lights kind of dim or whatever, and you get your mind right, and you got a fire going, and you can kind of drift off into a place of creativity, and it's pretty cool, man. I like it.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. Yeah, you showed me pictures of it, and I was like, man, we could pack some people in there and just do shows there.
Yeah, hell yeah, we could. But anyway, I forgot what we was talking about. But
no, we were talking about
the comedy.
World Series of Comedy. But no, I mean, yeah, because you went out there and you got third. Now you won. Now I've lost track of how many you've placed first in now, because you've now placed top. You've gotten 2 first places that I'm aware, and a third place, and there's a couple I'm missing. So I mean, how many did you actually place top 3?
So I got third place out in Vegas,
right?
And after that, I've won every one of them that I've entered. So, and I think at this point, that's because they first thing they did was an overall video competition, because they thought they were going to be able to get the satellites going, and so I barely slipped past the first round, and then I end up winning the whole thing on that, and then I think I've won 4 more of the satellites.
Right. Okay.
And but the thing to keep in mind, I don't mean to say that like braggadocious or whatever, because I'm living off the same 6-minute clip. You know what I mean? It's not like, there's something to be said when you do it live. For instance, that clip was taken from the first set that I did in Vegas. And you would think by that clip, well, hell, he must have won the whole thing. But actually, I finished third overall in that competition. So, every moment is its own kind of thing. Yep. And, you have a son in football. Every game is its own independent. Just because you won last week don't mean you're going to win next week.
Exactly.
So I got lucky that was a good moment, and it worked in the context of the way they're doing the competitions. But, if it were live competitions, I'm sure I would not have won as many as I did, for sure.
I don't know. I mean, you've got a very strong set, and your set, I think, it's as strong as it's been that I've known you in the last 2 years. I mean, it's always been strong, but you just keep getting stronger, especially with that Confederate flag bit, which is just, it's just. Oh, I mean, it's as strong as your cell phone bit, if not strong. And it's just one of those things that fits everything. So that's just my opinion, and not because we're friends either. It was just me being honest.
It's interesting you bring this up, and if your people, your viewers right now are not comedy nerds, they're probably bored to tears on this. I'm a comedy nerd. I love this stuff. Here's the thing. When I originally wrote the Confederate flag bit, I wasn't sure who I could do it for. Like, I wasn't sure if could I do that for a black audience? Not because it was racist or anything like that, but like, would they let me get to the punchline, without judgment, or would they, and then I did some white audiences where they were kind of pro Confederate flag. And so I'm like, well, how's the punchline going to go with them or whatever? But I've been lucky with that one. It just works. It doesn't matter.
You do an amazing job of threading the hot topic line, and the thing that's a big topic, big sensitive issue, and with a lot of people of black or white or of race, but you do it in a way where it's middle of the road still, and everybody can laugh at it because it's true. At the end of the day, it's funny and it's true at the same time, and it cuts through that divide. And that's a very, very, very hard thing to do. I won't do anything political or religious. I've told you that, for the over 2 years we've known each other, just because I'm scared to death. I will go left this way too far or that way. I can't do that. You're one of the few people, you and Ed Wiley, that can do that stuff. And I love it because it's so good. And it hits home with everybody. It hits home with everybody.
It's just that you have to be true to yourself.
Right.
And I don't like small talk. Like, I'm not the kind of person that just wants to sit around and talk about, the weather today, or, whatever. Right. And so it's reflective in my comedy because I'm obsessed with the topics that people like me shouldn't be able to talk about. I mean, sorry, I shouldn't be able to talk about, but I mean, in the culture we are in now, the politically correct culture,
Right.
Meaning that what I have to say, the direction you think I'm taking you may not be acceptable, but there's always a flip. There's always a little surprise kind of thing, which like the Confederate flag, and the challenge of threading that needle to where you're still engaging, people of all different viewpoints or whatever, and ultimately you're the butt of the joke. I think, I love that. That's my favorite. That's my favorite part of it.
Right. And you do, and it's great. I mean, and you got to have that surprise. You've got to have that twist at the end that just takes people off guard. They don't see coming, and where it just hits that much harder. And it's I was glad to see you doing it in Vegas and got the reaction you did. And then at that point, I just knew you were just gonna. It's like, that's it. It's over. He's just gonna go down this path of. And it's not going to be stopped. It can't be stopped. It can't be stopped. It's too good of a joke.
Well, let me just say this, because I don't know, people probably getting bored with your podcast by now. But the great thing that has come of this is that I've had at least three to four comedy club owners who have reached out to me saying, "Man, we loved your video. We can't wait to book you." Of course.
Right.
Can't wait means whatever happens with COVID. I had a manager reach out to me. I've had 2 agents reach out to me. Listen, I had a damn recording contract sent to me, and which is kind of cool, right? Like you're like, oh man, I got offered a recording contract, and then you read what's in it, and oh my gosh, it was more like they wanted me to be a prostitute, but. But I mean, so some good things have happened. But
that's great.
I can't wait to get back on stage. Hey, this weekend, I don't know if I can plug my show right now. But
yeah, you can plug anything you're doing, whatever you got.
Tomorrow, Friday and Saturday, whatever date that is, because I don't know right now. But I'm going to be at the Highland Ballroom Inn, downtown Atlanta. And I'm going to be there Friday night and Saturday night, part of the show. And this is really cool. It's my first time doing a show over there. And they generally have like some high level comics. And sometimes they'll have some of the like Ron White's, Hannibal Buress, those type people kind of stuff. But it's usually some of the better comics in Atlanta. And somehow I slipped into the mix. I fooled them somewhere along the way. But, yeah. And I'm going to be down there. Friday and Saturday night. So if anybody's in the Atlanta area, you want to see it. And the weather's supposed to be incredible. It's an outdoor show, by the way.
Oh, is it? Okay.
They do social distancing and they keep everybody safe. But the weather, I don't know if you've seen the weather for the next couple of days, but tomorrow night and the next night for an outdoor show are going to be amazing.
Right. Yeah. There's supposed to be really good weather. That's what I was looking forward to my son's football game tomorrow night. But yeah, the weather's supposed to be amazing the next couple of days. So outdoor shows are a lot more tolerable now that the weather's kind of shifting in a better direction. So that's going to be good for you. I'm excited for you, man. That's great. That's awesome. And it just it goes to show, what little bit, in the World Series of Comedy, a lot of people don't know about it, but I mean, they've been around for over 10 years. This is their 11th year. Joe and Jason put on a great show, a great thing, and I was involved with it last year. I didn't do nowhere near as good as you, much less place. I did get into a satellite, but couldn't go because of work schedule, because I actually had a job with a company that said, no, you can't go, kind of stuff. So, which I, no longer doing that. So, but from there, I mean, that I would not have gotten a hosting gig during quarantine down in Florida had I not met Brian from Off the Hook Comedy at the World Series of Comedy out there networking. So and I met a lot of people and a lot of club owners and different people that were like, hey, I like you. Anytime you're in the area, come do a guest spot. That don't mean I'm getting paid, but it's nice to know. It's like, okay, you're on the right track. You're networking, you're getting out there and getting exposure like you have, which is great. And I'm glad, and I'm happy for you. Now you're gonna go to Vegas, right, for the finales, right? I know you said you didn't know. You probably weren't. You were. I mean, what? Because right now you're in it to win it, and you could go out there and compete and probably take the whole show at this point, I would think.
Okay, so yeah, I made it in. They made the announcement for the first 20 out of the 100 who's going in, and I was on the list. So I'm incredibly flattered, and blown away by that. But I haven't decided if I'm going out there or not, and it's
Right.
not because of not wanting to, for sure, but we also haven't worked really since the end of February. So,
Right.
I got to be sensible with money and that sort of thing. And the other reason is, and this is probably a bigger reason, I actually have a show on the 16th. Was that November? Whenever the thing is, October.
It's the 9th through whatever the week is. That's 9th through. Hold on, I've got it right here on my calendar because it's the 9th through the 14th.
Right. So I have a show in the Villages in Florida on the 16th. So that would be a really tight window to try and get back home, get in my car, and then drive down to the Villages the day of the show, which I really don't like to do. So there's some scheduling things that may be more of a challenge than that I'm willing to go through. So we'll see.
Well, I hope you go because I plan on going out there and seeing everybody and at least networking.
Hey, am I allowed to ask? I don't know if this is allowed on the show program.
Go ahead.
But I was told there's something about maybe the three of us doing something.
There is possibly there's a show possibly, and me and Rick were talking about it last week. Rick is more in the know of that. He's been handling that out there in Alabama. We're not going to say the club, but I think it's off the table now. Is it off the table totally, Rick? Or are we still in negotiations with the club owners?
Yeah, it's still kind of in a negotiation situation, and they don't really get back to me as rapidly as I would wish that they would. So,
right. And I'll be honest. I mean, I'm not going to. It's great that we've got an opportunity. I am hopeful too as well. The issue is the money. It's the money issue, and for those of folks that don't know, Rick, I'll just touch on it real quick.
Damn, I feel like I brought up a conversation we shouldn't have.
Probably not, but it's one of those things. No, it's one of those things. They've got a limited crowd. It's quarantine, and you will know as well as I do, and Rick and all this. Normally, we either get a flat budget to deal with, or you get a door deal, or you sell the tickets and it's on you. Those are the typical three options for doing a show. Well, this place came back and said they have limited seating. Now, remember, it's still quarantine. We're still under a limited amount of people, from what Rick and the owner told Rick, and wanted us to do a door deal, correct? Where it's a door deal, percentage of the door instead of a flat budget, and we've still got to get we got to do 2 shows Friday and Saturday. So I said that's probably not the best option right now during quarantine, because I mean, if we only get 5 or 6 people, we've got to, you're the headliner. We've got to pay you. You've got to have a hotel. We've got to go back and forth for 2 nights. It's 2 hours from my house. So there's a lot of different things involved.
Well, I'll tell you this. I've done the place, recently, I'd say within a month. And, I was told even before doing those shows that one night might be better than the next night. And that was absolutely the case, where Friday night was far better than Saturday night. So,
well, yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, I would like it to happen. I just don't know. I don't know. I mean,
it's all good.
Right now,
we didn't have to spend 10 minutes on it. I didn't mean to bring.
No, it's fine. No, I don't mind talking about this because people ask these questions all the time. It's like, well, why don't you do that? It's like, well, it just doesn't work out. You don't go into details, but sometimes, a door deal 6-7 months ago, I would say, let's do it. Period. In the discussion, because of the times we're in and the limited capacity. It's a roll of the dice, where the shows, So, I don't know the answer, and we all three can probably talk after the show in private, what we want to do and try to work it out. But that was just kind of the way, it's sitting right. It's sitting dormant. It's sitting dormant. It's not dead. It's sitting dormant.
Right. Hey, let me ask you this: Have you guys had a moment in your life yet where you went, "Damn it, I'm getting old"?
Yeah.
I mean, like that first. I'm talking about that first moment where you're like, for the first time ever, you're like, "Oh, damn it, I'm not growing up anymore. I'm on the downside."
Yes, 100%. Rick, what's yours? Or was yours?
Every
Or
day.
what do you remember?
Well, I don't know, man. I mean, it's kind of funny
Chris
because
he ain't had one yet.
He hasn't had one. Rick hasn't had one yet.
No, I mean, I'm fixing to have my third grandchild in January, so that'll make you feel kind of old. And then, outside of just having like my back hurting, maybe, or my knees hurting, I don't know. I feel all right. I ain't really hating it.
All right, 3 grandchildren. You've been old for a long time, bro.
I know, right?
Yeah.
What about you, Andy? What's your old man moment?
Probably within this past year. Right when I don't know. It was right before. It was last year, between last year and this year, after I got remarried and was jumping into, and I was doing a bunch of shows and a bunch of different things, where I realized that when I was staying up to like 1 or 2 in the morning, or not getting home to 1 and 2 in the morning from doing shows, and then waking up the next day and feeling like I'd been drinking all night, which I had not been, and could not get out of this. Like, I figured out I couldn't stay up past 1:30, 2 o'clock without having a day and a half to get back to normal, and recovering from that exhaustion. And that was last year when I was 44, before I turned 45. It was weird. I went from 43 still just going on at it, balls to the wall, no big deal. Then I hit 44, and in that year, I felt I just felt exhaustion. I felt things that, I was like, I could go to 1, 2 in the morning and just be fine the next day, or drink all night and still be fine the next day, or just, and then all of a sudden it's like, nope, not anymore. There's Paco. You got to stop here at midnight, 1 o'clock. You turn into a pumpkin, or you're going to be miserable the next 3 days. So that's right. And my sons are as big as me now. They're my size. That all was happening in that 1 year.
Right.
So
my old moment happened 2 nights ago. 2 nights ago, I caught myself putting on reading glasses so I could look at porn. That's a new low, man. That's a new damn low. But hell, I've been sitting there for 30 minutes, like watching 2 dudes. I had no idea. I was so confused with this porn. I was like, why does he keep putting his head into her crotch over and like pounding it? Like, I didn't. So I just had that. That was 2 nights ago, man.
Oh, that is funny, dude.
And I'm gonna tell you, if you wear reading glasses and you're looking at porn, it feels creepy. Like it feels like you're like 2 steps away from buying a van. That's what it's creepy-matic. Man.
You're already experiencing that feeling that you're gonna feel later when you're pulling your pants back up. Like, what's wrong with me?
Oh, yeah. When you have that's right. That moment where you're like,
yeah,
what the hell was I? I felt that way when I watched that movie Cuties on the damn Netflix. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh God, I don't even want to watch that thing. But everybody is. Did you watch it?
Well, I watched part of it. It was.
I heard it's pretty out there or too far.
I watched it with an open mind because I said, you know what, it's probably a bunch of damn prudish people, that, complaining or whatever. And so I said, I want to see what it is. And man, I'm gonna tell you, I'll tell you this: if I had the footage from that movie on my hard drive, I would be paranoid going through the damn airport. That's what I'm gonna tell you. It was.
Gotcha.
It was that kind of. It was that kind of. I don't know, man. It made me feel creepy, you know. But I don't know.
Yeah, that's what people were saying. I was, you know, just the pictures that people posted on Facebook. I was like, oh, okay, you know, that doesn't look.
Yeah, and even the way the movie, like people will say, well, it had a story and the whole thing, which it did, and that's what I was interested in. But even the way they shot it, like you didn't have to have the zoom in on the 7-year-old girl wearing almost barely covers her crotch skirt thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it made me feel weird, but I don't know.
Was you wearing your glasses?
No, I didn't put my reading glasses. But I tell you what, I cleared my damn Netflix history after I finished. I didn't want nobody to know I had seen it. You know, I do the same thing on my phone. On my phone, anytime I watch porn, I clear my history. You know what? This is serious. This is 100% serious. It's because I don't want my mom to find out that I'm dead and I look at granny porn. You know what I mean? It's too much for a woman to take in from her son at one time. That's what I'm saying. So.
Oh, that's what you're saying.
You don't need that in your eulogy.
Yeah.
No, you don't. You don't need that in your eulogy.
I put it on JesusChrist.com, so she'll think, man, my son is doing the right thing in life, you know. So.
Yeah, not looking at granny porn or nun porn.
Not looking at granny porn. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, you know, and that does, you know, you got to think about the things you look up, because we're at the age now. I mean, you just drop dead on sight, and then your phone's just there, and they're going to go through it and be like, you know, well, let's make sure he wasn't doing anything he wasn't supposed to be doing. And next thing you know, it's like, you know, hamsters.com or some weird ass something another, you know, it's like.
Well, I don't know about all that. That's I didn't go all that. You took it to a new level, Andy. Hell, at least what I was talking about was legal. Damn, you described it. Animal laboratory.
Hamster.
I figure we just cover all the bases, you know. Don't want to leave anything off the table.
How many of them 12 subscribers still paying attention to this podcast right now?
Oh, they're gone. They all left.
Yeah. As soon as we started talking about cuties, they were done.
They were like, that's it. We're out. We're out. But
you know what? I don't listen. Here's the thing. Here's another thing about me, though. I also don't eat at these restaurants like a Hooters or the Tilted Kilt. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep. Tilted Kilt has horrible food, number one.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Listen, man, here's been my thought the whole time. I'm like, if you got to get these girls to wear these slutty ass outfits to get people to come eat in your restaurant, how bad is your food?
I will say this. I do love Hooters wings, the breaded wings and their 3 mile sauce and their spicy garlic. I'll order to go all day, every day. I mean, but that's the only thing I think on their menu that's good at all.
Listen, here's what it is. I eat a damn Waffle House. Okay, Waffle House is where you walk into a damn Waffle House and take one look at their waitresses, and you know Waffle House is all about the damn food. That's it. Okay, that's why I eat a Waffle House.
Well, I'm going to say the waitresses are probably doing granny porn.
Yeah. Well, in Waffle House, you're drunk at 2 a.m. and it's the last place that you're allowed to be in because you've been kicked out of everything else.
Yeah, but could you imagine if them waitresses was wearing the Tilted Kilt outfit? You know what I'm talking about? She's serving you gravy biscuits with booty shorts on. Come on, man. No.
That'd be some funny stuff, though.
It's exploitation is what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. It's exploitation, but I mean, I do like Hooters wings. They're very good wings, and I like the bread and I like the sauce. Now I'll order them to go, but Tilted Kilt has no good food. I ate there one time on a business trip. I was like, this is horrible. I mean, I don't even want to come back. It's
what about what's the other one?
Twin Peaks.
There's another Twin Peaks. Yeah, that's it.
Twin Peaks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never been there either.
Yeah, Twin Peaks is horrible. That's even worse food than It's even worse food. But I will say Hooters.
Feel like Andy has done the pervert restaurant tour. You know what I mean?
Well,
he's been in every one we talked about.
Look, dude, I was divorced for over 11 years, all in my 30s. My entire 30s, I was.
Listen, I'm waiting for Ashley Madison to open a damn restaurant. That's what's coming next.
Ashley Madison.
Hey, have y'all seen this? Now, listen, since we're talking about this, have y'all seen Jenna Jameson, how horrible she looks now, and that she is selling everything she owns on social media, suppose like every clothing, every like ring, watch, Tiffany, she's like selling it all. I mean, it's like she's in this liquidation sale. It's crazy.
Listen, I will never forget the lipstick tattoo. Okay, me and Jenna. Okay, I know. Come on, man. Listen, name me a hotter porn star than Jenna Jameson in her prime. With that little lipstick tattoo on that tan little ass. Oh, I mean, it was not little.
Well, I'm not trying to get you excited. I'm not trying to get you excited.
Listen, no, I'm telling you. Listen, I was thinking about this. You know how they talk about the greatest generation? You know how they talk about that? But I'm like, but wait a minute, man. My generation had damn Steve Jobs and Jenna Jameson. I feel like we've got to be competing for the greatest generation if you want to, you know what I mean?
Well, that's what I was about to say, because she had, she started this whole culture of paying the performers, residuals and things like that. And she started her own line of videos, and
she had her own thing. That's
and she was like one of the top business women in the world on Forbes and everything. And then, so I was really confused when I started seeing this liquidation sale of everything, and I didn't recognize her, dude. I did not recognize her when the stuff popped up on my.
She's probably 80 years old now, isn't she? I don't know. She's old.
Dude, she is so full of Botox. She's so full of Botox. She looks like a blowfish.
Hey man, listen.
I want to see.
Listen, I ain't gonna stand for this kind of disrespect. Okay, listen. All right, listen. I don't hear you making fun of Michael Jordan because he's overweight and smoking cigars. Okay, we all have our window, bro. We all have our window, and Jenna's had her window. It's closed now. You don't pass judgment, because what she threw down back in the day, I don't think will ever be reproduced. She is the GOAT.
No.
The GOAT of porn, in my opinion.
No, she's probably the last person.
I'm just wondering, in this garage sale, is her dignity still available to buy?
Dude, she poses with the stuff. She poses with half the stuff.
Bro, you know how many dicks she's took? Do you think she's worried about dignity?
No.
God don't.
No. Dignity went out in her 20s, okay?
Come on,
right.
You think
dignity went out in her 20s. Let's be honest about it.
That ain't even a thing, man.
Yeah, but it was just, you went down that path, and I was just, and it popped up like on on Instagram or something. And I was like, what is this? And I clicked on it, and I was like, that is not her. And she's selling everything. She's literally selling everything she owns. It's I don't know. So anyway,
well,
I just thought it was weird.
It happens. Mike Tyson went bankrupt.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, but he went bankrupt, but he's coming back.
Jeff Foxworthy just did a big estate sale.
Yeah, but that was more of like a charity thing, I think, where I don't think Jeff Foxworthy's hurting for money.
No, he's not.
Was getting rid of stuff.
No, he's not hurting for money.
I think he's just making room for Jenna Jameson to lease the guest house.
Man, don't throw off on my
man. Jeff's got too much money. He's still too relevant. He's still got his hands in the pot of too many things. So I mean, even though we heard the story, if anybody wants to hear the real story, you can go check out our other podcast with Rocky Dale Davis and talk about the behind the scenes of the show with Jeff Foxworthy that he was on. So that was an interesting podcast. So
people want to like underrate him, but he was the guy. Like and the money he made and the whole thing, that the empire that he built off You Might Be the Redneck. Like,
let me tell you something.
People make fun of him, and I don't understand why.
I don't make fun of him. I think he was the next new generation of comedians that took comedy to another level and brought the country, brought the redneck into the world in a different way than it ever has been before. You know, James Gregory was a forefront of that, but Jeff just took it and mainstreamed it to everybody.
Right.
To everybody. There wasn't a business mogul. There wasn't anybody of anything anywhere that wasn't talking about or mimicking the lines or anything or wanted to be a part of it.
Well, it's because everyone in the South knew it was true, and everyone in the North loved laughing at it, and so it was perfect.
Yeah, it was. It hit every mainstream of everybody there was, and it just took off. I mean, I call him the Louis Grizzard of comedy, kind of, in a way.
Oh, Louis Grizzard was a god, dude.
And Louis Grizzard was amazing.
He was a writer.
He was a writer for the AJC, and I think probably one of the most underrated and overlooked people of writers in comedic writing.
Plus all the books.
I think he's being forgotten about with this, with where we're at now.
I was reading a book he did called My Dad's a Pistol and I'm a Son of a Gun.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I have all the respect, but but Jeff Foxworthy, I mean, I'll say this. He's a multimillionaire. It wouldn't surprise me if there's a billion coming down behind his name somewhere down the line with the amount of money and residuals and everything he's got his hands into.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But apparently a really super nice dude. And, he's still touring, man.
He's still touring. Even though Rocky Dale Davis, who was on our podcast, podcast for last, said he had a horrible time with the producers of NBC on the show he was on. But Jeff made it a point to talk to him to the side, even though he wasn't supposed to, and told him, I like your stuff. And he said he was probably the nicest, most genuine, down to earth. He goes, for as big as he is and who he is, he said he was the most down to earth, nicest, real guy you've ever come across in your life. And
listen, let me say this: I've worked with Rocky Dale Davis, and dude, he is such a nice guy, and incredibly talented. I did a show with him at Mad Life Studios in Woodstock, and it was a show that Heather Trolley, God, I can't think of her name now. Heather, she's got like these 5 names, she's one of these,
right.
Anyway, she's a great girl. She's a great producer. But we did a show out there for her, and Rocky Dale Davis was on the show, and he got a standing ovation, and it was incredible, man. I mean, there was not a dead moment in his entire 50-minute set. Just solid, bam, 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 and totally down to earth, totally cool guy. He was awesome.
No, he was great. He was great on the podcast. But what was interesting to find out, when we talked, is he said, and he goes, I don't write like a typical comic does. He goes, all my stuff, he goes, it's just in my head. And I'm like, I was just blown away, and I was like, what? He goes, I don't write. He goes, I don't set up premise. He goes, I can't tell you how to do that. He goes, for me to teach you that or teach you what I do in my head, he said, I can't. I'm like, Okay.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I got stacks of papers everywhere.
Yeah. That's
drawing boards, and I still can't figure it out.
And I got spreadsheets. I got all kinds of things going on out here.
Oh, that's awesome. So let me ask this. I mean, everybody's got a semi plan, or what's your thoughts about getting through the rest of the year? And I know you've got some shows coming up planned. I mean, or just hit the reset button for 2021 and go after it like you and I talked about 2020 was going to be for both of us. You know, we were going two different directions on two different levels, but this was going to be our breakout year.
You were going down.
Yeah, I know. yeah.
I'm kidding.
No, that's what it was.
No. I'm just being an asshole. Well, I can tell you the plan for the rest of 2020 is, hopefully, if it holds out, I go down to Florida and I do shows at these places in Florida. I don't know if in Florida they have these, they're like reservations, but they're for old people, and they just put a bunch of old people in this place, and they have the wall and there's a gate and the whole thing. And so they'll bring entertainment in to come in and entertain them. And so I do that in the wintertime. So I've got several of those shows that I'll be doing. But other than that, I don't know. I don't know what else I'll be doing, but I'll be getting it done somehow.
Yeah. Oh, we're all in the same boat. I mean, just we all can plan, but there's not really a good way to plan or to say, you know, hey, I'm going to do this or do that, or this is my next goal or my next whatever, because we're all still trying to figure it out.
We're all sitting on pause. You know, it's like somebody hit the pause button back in March, and you know, even though I've got a couple of shows, like to do a show and then 2 or 3 weeks goes by, and then you do a show and then 2 more weeks go, like there's no momentum, and you're not building and you're not gaining, you know, and so it's incredibly difficult, you know, to go out and think that I'm going to be consistent doing shows like every 2 or 3 weeks is a challenge.
No, you hit a nail on the head that I have been pondering the last couple of days. Since I was like, God, I just feel like something's missing in my life. And because it's not just comedy, but since we didn't do a podcast last week because we had the Friday off because we'd done 2 before, and we took the last Friday off, and up to today, I was like, I felt something missing. And it's hard to get that momentum, like you're saying, the momentum. I realize that's like my momentum's gone. When I am balls to the walls, when I've got the radio show or the podcast or this, and it's stacked up, and then you've got a momentum, but then when there's a break, you feel like I gotta hit the reset button, but I don't know how to hit the reset button or the amp up button. Does that make sense? Because even me trying to write stuff, I've wrote stuff, but I don't think I'm writing as good as I was writing when I was in the thick of it, when I knew I had an open mic or another show to go to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I mean, you know, I think that you're right when you talk about the momentum, that there's nothing. And here's the thing, for me, and I don't know if every other comic is this way. I have some extracurricular challenges, but you know, when I'm doing shows consistently, then I'm reminded that I'm doing well. But when there are no shows and time goes by, my mind tends to go negative and to start to convince me that oh, you weren't that good, or you know, something like that, because there's no recent performance to argue that point, to fight against that inner critic, right?
Right.
And so to me, that's been one of the challenging things, is that having no momentum, and that critic that lives in all of our minds, just his voice is so loud, and you can't go, yeah, but last night I just killed it, right? And so, for me, I'm walking on stage, and I feel like I'm already fighting a battle before I even get up there. And the only thing that solves that is repetition, and getting up and getting up, even if it's over mics or whatever, and not having that. I mean, not to compare our job to something as sophisticated as like brain surgery, but imagine you're a brain surgeon and you've had to take 6-7 months off, and now all of a sudden you have to do brain surgery on the president. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's just that weird. So
no, and you're right, I mean, I've had those moments where I'm just like, is this even all worth it? And it's because we've had so much time on our hands, and and that's why, another reason I created when we talked before this, created the podcast. The podcast came from a thing just from trying to create and do stuff, so I didn't lose my freaking mind, because we were also go on a roll, and then it just stopped. There was no time to get ready for anything. And there's been times I'm like, I just don't want to do the podcast. I don't want to do I don't want to do that. So I just don't have the momentum. I don't feel it. But at the same time, then I got to stop. And I had a conversation with a friend of mine today. He called me out of the blue. He's like, it's so cool that you got, you're doing what you're doing. I go, I'm not doing anything, dude. What are you talking about? He's like, no, he goes, you got the podcast. You've had Bruce Kulick on. You've had Keith Coogan on. You've had all these cool people on. You've had Eric Dowis on. You've had, it's just, it just reminds you. It's like, okay, like you said, you got to have those simple remind, but you got to remind yourself, because shit, dude, there's been days I go, if we don't do this ever again, nobody will ever remember. But then at the same time, if we quit, people will remember we quit. That's
or they just won't remember at all.
Or they won't remember at all.
But you'll remember.
Exactly.
But I'll remember.
Man, I tell you, that's the scariest thing to me. Like, because there's no certainty, and I've been lucky enough to achieve a few things or whatever, but like, compared to where I need to be, like, I'm so far away from that, and there's no certainty that you'll get there. And so, you're really living life without a net. You're on a tightrope. There is no net. That's it. You're all in.
What's crazy is like in your Facebook memories will come up of like what you were doing last year or the year before last, and you're like, yeah, man, I was like really busy. And this time next year it'll just be like, dicking around, nothing happening.
Well, but what we are doing, it's as my wife even said, she just had it, was it last week or a couple of days ago? She goes, you live life on the edge every day. I go, no, I don't. She goes, yeah, you do. Everything's on the edge with you every day. It's got to be, or you don't live or survive or function because of my past and everything. I'm like, well, I'm not doing shows. It doesn't matter. You're still putting yourself out there. You're still trying to do and create things. Whether it's going to hit or not, you don't know, but you're producing and doing things and trying to be creative. And that's the thing I think right now, that we've got to try to be more creative in different ways and different avenues, even if it doesn't hit, even if it doesn't do whatever, it's still the next step, because we're all in this thing. I don't care if you're the biggest guy in comedy to somebody who's, like myself, who's not. And, because it's a whole new era, and you don't know what's going to hit and what's going to take off and what that step is. But at the same time, you got to ask yourself the question. It's like, what is there? What is making it? What is there? Is it just a Netflix special? Is it having $1 million in the bank? Unless you can figure out and know what it is or there is, or is it just consistently working every weekend at comedy and getting paid every weekend? What is it? Because it is different for everybody, I think.
I know what it is for me.
What's that?
It's walking out in front of a packed house, regardless of the size of the venue, walking out, having the opportunity to walk out every single night, knowing that you're going to kill, and also knowing that within your show you're going to have a chance to do some new material and try it, but because you're so comfortable on stage that it's going to work. I mean, having that every single night. I mean, whatever the pay is, or how much I have to pay to have that experience, that would be the ultimate to me. And specifically, doing a show at the Fox Theater in Atlanta, that'd be like my holy grail, I think.
Yeah,
I agree. I mean, I've thought about that too. It's like, if I ever got to a point where I was good enough to do something like that, where would I do possibly a special or something like that? That's
think about this. Think about how amazing this would be if you're really now. Look, I'm not a movie guy. I'm not trying to be in the movies. I'm not trying to be. I only want to do comedy, and so imagine the opportunity if you had a residency in Vegas, right? And let's say life beyond Corona, whatever,
right?
And like Celine Dion has her show out there, right? And every night you could walk out into that stage, like that, and it was going to be packed, and the room would be electric. Tell me that what would be a greater feeling than that?
I don't think anything. I agree, and I agree with that. Now, I love movies. I love TV, and right now I would take a career in any of the formats: movie, comedy, or a combination thereof. But I would give up a movie career or TV career for what you just put out there and talked about. I agree. A residency in Vegas to that of what you're talking about in a heartbeat. I don't think anybody, any performer, any true stage performer would give that up for anything else.
See, I want it all. I'll take it all. I'll do the residency for 6 months. Then I'll go shoot my TV show. Then my book will come out. Then I'll be back in Vegas for, that's what I would do.
Yeah, then that damn psilocybin wears off and you find out you were just tripping.
Well, I mean, look, you could have just a residency, but if I'm going to dream even bigger than that. I think that would be awesome, but I'd still want the movie career or the book deal.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not a matter of like that I set my goals low. Like I'm legit telling you, that's what they would have to pay me extra to be in TV and movies because I would not want to do it. Like I'm just legit. I don't want to do that. So,
right. I mean, everybody's got their thing. I would do any of it. Now, movies are exhausting.
Me too.
I will do a little bit of it all. I kind of want to do a little bit on them. Focus on a little bit all, but at the same time, you got to focus on one thing, and I'm trying to focus that one thing on comedy and being better comedian, better comic, better writer, because that's just going to overlay into everything that I want to do.
The funniest part of this what video or whatever it is we're doing is that the fact that we're having this conversation right here about we're arguing about who wants to be on TV and you think the three of us got a damn shot? Come on, man. You crazy.
Hey, dude, you got to dream. You got to have something to dream for and live for, because if you don't, you're just dying. Unless you're already there. Unless you're already there in life.
It worked out okay for Snooki. We have a chance.
Oh, God almighty. Jesus Christ. It blows my mind, that crap.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
He's talking about Jersey Shore reality show BS, in my opinion. But people, you know what? It made people stars with no talent. Let's put it that way. Made stars with no.
That's what this podcast is trying to do, I think.
That's what we're doing. I don't care. Shit. I hope it does.
That was the original working. That was the original working title to this podcast. Was
were you in the think tank idea when we put this thing together? You obviously set the meeting, or you were in on it.
I had nothing to do. The only thing. Hey, listen. Here's the one thing. I introduced the two of you.
That's true.
Yeah,
that is true.
Because I was on Andy's show, and I was
supposed
to be promoting a show that I was doing for Rick, and I forgot to.
That's right.
And so Rick yelled at me, and he said to make up for it, I had to introduce you to him so he could do your radio show.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, you guys are married or whatever the hell. I mean, I support it. I'm not whatever, man. Just be happy is all I know.
Married? We're not married. We're just living in sin.
Just having a good time.
2020, man. Do your thing. What do I care?
We're wearing matching shirts, so there's a little bit of a giveaway.
Oh yeah, and you know what? The way the screen's cut off, it looks like a penis. I don't know if you know that or not. It really does. Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to promote sales of our T-shirts.
No, I'm telling you, like where Rick is standing right now, it looks just no, you didn't know. It just looks like a penis sticking out. Anyway, whatever. You know, I've been smoking this CBD, so what do I know?
Oh my gosh. Well, anyways, we've hit our hour mark.
Okay, sorry.
The Thor Dick. It's the Thor Dick podcast.
The way his shoulders are and the way his head cut. Oh my God. Y'all done bought some penis shirts. That's crazy. That's hilarious right there.
Oh, I got the best sound bites out of this podcast. I can't wait to put all this together.
That's all I see now. That's all I can see is a penis sticking up. Oh my God. You're going to have to edit this out. This going to have to.
It's not. We're live. We're live on YouTube. God. We're live on Facebook. We're all over the place. There's no editing to this show. That's why I do it the way I do it. There's no editing. There's zero editing.
Rick's going up and down. Oh my God. Oh, y'all going to have to cut this part out.
Oh God Almighty! Well, Eric.
Yeah, that's how we.
Oh my God, Rick, you got anything?
Hey, I got a show in Villa Rica, Hickstown Brewing, on October 8th, I believe. It's on a Thursday or Friday, I think. I'm not sure, but
nice.
I got that today, so that's cool.
Cool.
Nope. Other than that, I don't really have anything going on except for.
Is that Darut's show? Darut's?
Yeah.
Is that okay? I saw that. I was glad to see they're doing shows out that way. And
he's done I think this is like his third one he's done so far. So right in my backyard too. So great. Looking forward to it.
Eric's still laughing over. So Eric, where can people find you and if they want to?
We're gonna send you a shirt, Eric. We got to send him a shirt, Andy.
That's right. By the way, folks, you can buy these penis Fat Thor podcast shirts
my God.
at storefrontier.com/Andy's Room.
Yeah, they can. Oh my God, I'm crying, dude. They can find me at Eric Dowis, ERICDOWIS, on all the like Facegrams and Instaflix or whatever. Whatever social media they got going. They can find me there. And yeah.
Or Jenna Jameson fan clubs.
Or Jenna Jameson or Pornhub or
yeah. Oh my God. Y'all gonna have to edit that last part out. That was too much, man.
Folks, don't forget to share the show. I know it's embarrassing if you share this one because we have just strewn the line of everything.
But listen, if you only watch the end of this. This is the end. The hurt is the best part.
Screw the rest of it.
You'll laugh so hard you'll be Thor.
Exactly.
I literally cried, man. I'm sitting here. I cried. That's how.
Oh my gosh.
You know, we haven't had anybody cry on the show yet, so
so that is good. Yeah,
I did. So
that is at least we had that. We've had a first here, but hey, I think we're going to do a show.
We're like a Vidalia onion.
Oh my gosh.
I want what Eric has. I'm going to go buy me one of those vape things that he has tonight. I am literally going to the store tonight.
I'm way ahead of you, man.
Oh, gee.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good. I just can't look at it.
I can't look at it.
Yes.
Okay,
come see me this weekend in Atlanta.
Hey, I think we're gonna do a shirt of the month. Our next one's gonna be going to Pound Town right here.
Yeah.
Going to Pound Town. This is perfect for this show. So next month you can get the Going to Pound Town shirt on storefrontier.com/Andy's Room. Okay, I think we're done. I think I'm just going to throw the commercial up and we're gone.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't know any other way to end this.
Thank you. We're going to Pound Town, everybody.
Fat Thor.
We're going to be Thor.
Fat Thor Lockdown.